What's up YouTube? Welcome to the channel. It's the Branded Dude, and today I have a new branded replay for you guys. It's Branded versus Meta, and we are going up against Maliss. We are playing 60 card Branded with grass and tier limit monsters. The build is still the same. There is Lad in the extra deck, no Sanctifier though, so I won't be doing a deck profile at the end of the video. The deck profile is the same as in my recent video, which I think was the same one in my Drytron. I don't know, yeah, sorry, I kind of forgot which one is the latest video, but so there will no be deck profile towards the end. The deck profile is still the same, no changes have been made, but yes, we are going up against Maliss, and let's see how we do. Cool. So in the rock paper scissors, we won and we chose to go first. In the opening hands, you'll see we have Aluber, Thrust, Droplet, Albion, and Fusion Deployment. Our opponent has Cyanide Mining, Nerb, Ash, Dartscaper, and Gold Sock. So Ash and Nerb, pretty good hand traps for our opponent to open up with. Cool. So we go main phase and we summon Cartesia first off with Deployment so that Aluber cannot be negated by Impermavela. Cool. We know summon Aluber effect. Our opponent could have Ashed here, because Branded Fusion is at 1, so I think it's worth that people do gamble on ashing Aluber, but just for guarantee, just save your ash for the Branded Fusion instead. Cool. Branded Fusion added to hand. We activate Branded Fusion, but it is negated with Ash Blossom. Cool, but now Thrust is live. We then go with Albion the Shadow Dragon. I guess it would have been a better option to go with Thrust first so that we are able to set Fusion Duplication so that Albion the Shadow Dragon does not end up drawing into it, but we did not have that issue here, so it's cool. We sent High Spirit of Albion and we drew into Albaz, so Cartesia still has a way for us to fusion summon into Albion and all the other Albaz related fusion monsters if we choose to go that route. Cool. We go Cartesia effect, but we're not using Albaz. We send Aluber and Cartesia to go into Grand Gugno. Grand Gugno here is going to dump Titan Declared, so we have access to Quem in end phase. Then we follow up with Thrust, setting Fusion Duplication, and we set Droplet. So Fusion Duplication, we still have a way to activate Branded Fusion in our opponent's turn. Anyways, end phase we do go Titan effect, summoning Quem. Quem effect will use this effect to dump, and we dump Mercuria. Now the reason why we dump Mercuria here is obviously once we use Fusion Duplication, banishing Branded Fusion, when we fusion summon we can have Quem target the Mercuria to reborn, so we have a monster negate during our opponent's turn. Cool. Now in the end phase still we do have Cartesia effect to add itself to hand, as well as High Spirit to add to hand, so now we have more cards for Droplet to send to negate more monsters on the field. Cool, we pass turn. Now it's opponent's turn. He draws into Crossout Designator. So Crossout is a dead card. He has nothing that he can cross out on our side except maybe the bestial monsters. Cool. So opponent starts in main phase with Cyanide Mining. We don't use Fusion Duplication yet because I still don't know what my opponent was playing, so we just waited on it. So cool, now he activated Cyanide Mining, sending Dartscaper and adding Dormouse. So here we soon realize that we're going up against Maliss. Cool. Dartscaper effect will activate since we're sent to grave to special summon itself. Here I don't think I use Grand Gugno effect. Yeah, I don't use Grand Gugno effect on res of Dartscaper special summoning itself, but we do go with Fusion Duplication because we're going up against Maliss, so let's start burning him for some damage. So we send Albaz and we send Chiron. Will trigger its effect on res because it was sent to grave by card effect, so we have a way to 1 go into Merjade and 2 go into Masquerade as well. Cool. Summon Lubellion on res, chainlink 1 Lubellion, discarding Cartesia, chainlink to Chiron, and then here we also went Quem effect targeting Mercuria. Cool. So Chiron will shuffle back itself and Quem. We don't shuffle back Aluber because Aluber does have its graveyard effect, so we just going to leave it in a graveyard for that, but we shuffle back the Quem instead because in this build we were playing only one Quem, so may as well just shuffle that back so we're able to summon it off again of Grand Gugno, just to recycle it. Cool. Masquerade is here and we fusion summon into Merjade, so now we have burn damage, we have a banish, we have a Mercuria negate, we have Grand Gugno as well, and we still have the Droplet, so decent board here. Cool. Opponent normal summons Dormouse, then activates its ignition effect, paying 600, goes banishing White Rabbit, and White Rabbit will also trigger its effect to summon itself, but here we do use Mercuria to negate that so he doesn't have too many Maliss names on the field. Cool. Opponent activates Gold Sock here, so he's going to banish the Chessy Cat, which will reborn itself, and he's still taking damage off Masquerade. But on summon, I do go Mirror Jet effect. One, because Chessy Cat will enable him to draw 2 cards. Obviously, I don't know what cards he had in his hand, but I'm trying to get rid of all the main deck Maliss names off the field. Cool, so here he links summon into Lizardos, which is going to activate its effect to banish Dormouse, and he's going to choose Masquerade here to make its attack equal to 900. Cool, but yeah, now my opponent is at 4,400 life points, but Dormouse will trigger its effect, so this is the last Maliss name that will activate its effect to reborn itself from the banished pile. When I say last Maliss name, I am referring only to the main deck Maliss names. Cool, here he now links into White Binder. White Binder will trigger its effect on summon to banish cards in the graveyard, but we do negate this with Droplet. So here I believe my opponent, I think he targeted the Albion in our graveyard, and I'm not sure, I think he also targeted Dotscaper, but yeah. Anyways, we negate that with Droplet, so cool. Now my opponent does not have any Maliss traps he cannot set. Also, luckily in his hand he did not have any of the Maliss trap cards as well, but he ends his battle phase. Now remember, Masquerade is at 900 attack, so it will be destroyed. So we take a bit of damage here. Yeah, even though we did use Droplet on White Binder was still higher than Masquerade, so we took about 250 damage. Cool. My opponent sets Cross out and proceeds to end phase, but in end phase we have Albion, where we add Branded in white. Obviously Branded Fusion is at 1 and it's banished. No point adding Branded in red, because honestly what my plan here is to use Branded in white to banish the Mercuria, so Mercuria could search us Kit in our turn. So we add Branded in white and Cartesia will add itself to hand. Cool. Now we draw for turn, we draw into Rebellion and we use its effect. Here we search for Bestial Magnemite. Now on the activation of Bestial Magnemite there was a bit of a lag, but my opponent did chain Cross out to Bestial Magnemite, attempting to special summon itself. Cool, so Mag won't summon itself, but we then follow up with High Spirit, sending Albaz and Albion, and here we search for Kit. Cool, so yeah, we're going to recycle Branded Fusion. We're going to hold on to Branded in white, not use it yet, in case this card my opponent had in hand was a Ash Blossom. Cool. Kit on summon will trigger its effect. We recycle back the Branded Fusion and we put back Cartesia, but my opponent scoops here because yeah, he has no follow-up, nothing there, so I'm honestly gonna have the advantage here. So cool, we go to game number 2. Game number 2, the Maliss player chooses to go first. In our opening hand, we open Branded Opening, Grass, Allure, Thrust and Albion. This is a pretty good hand, but unfortunately you see that my Maliss player, he did open Maliss in Underground, Gold Sock, Shifter, Imperm and the Barrier. So cool, yeah, Shifter he drops in the draw phase. So he follows up with Gold Sock, summoning Dormouse. Obviously they will trigger the effects when banished to summon itself. White Rabbit will set the, I think that was the TB11, yep. Field Spell will banish Chessy Cat summon itself, links into Hot Scripter. So yeah, anyways, sorry about that guys. So all 3 Maliss monsters are banished. He did not use Chessy Cat to draw because he did not have a Maliss card to banish for its effect, but he linked straight into Hot Scripter. He set TB11 and D-Barrier. I don't know why he did not set Infinite in permanent, maybe just to hold on to it, you know, just in case he needs a negate or an interruption during his turn, or when it goes back to his turn. But Hot Scripter, yeah, in case you don't know what it does, basically it's a quick effect where he can target one of his banished Maliss cards, shuffle it into the deck, and he can non-target banish 1 card on the field. Another effect it has is that if Hot Scripter is banished, this card can pay 900, the player can pay 900 life points, special summon it and double its attack. So this helps Maliss to be able to go for game, because when it's banished it will summon itself and its attack will boost to 5,000 attack points. Anyways, cool, we do draw into Droplet, but Droplet is dead because we are under Shifter. So unfortunately Grass cannot be played here. Actually no, it can be, but we don't want to banish our cards. So we first go with the Lure of Darkness, then we chain Opening because our opponent did not have a response. So we banish Albion at Tragedy and we're just going to draw 2. Here I was trying to attempt just to draw into cards. Hopefully I can try to set and find a way to play during my opponent's turn. So we banish Tragedy. We did draw into High Spirits and Retribution of Allure. Cool. So we search Aluba and then we normal summon Aluba. Luckily my opponent did not set that imperm, so Aluba will resolve. We search Branded Fusion and we activate Branded Fusion, but our opponent does have the barrier. Cool. That is unfortunate, so Branded Fusion ends up getting banished. So we then just pass turn because one, if I set any of these cards, obviously my opponent can trigger Heart's Crypta in the end phase to banish one of them, and I did not want to risk losing Droplet or anything else. Honestly, it was not worth it to me, to be honest. Obviously, maybe I should have just taken a chance, set Droplet and whatever other few cards, but if Droplet got hit, there was honestly, it was just a losing position for me. Cool, but so my opponent does banish the Luba in the end phase. Cool. Opponent draws Terraforming. So here, yeah, my opponent is able to go for game because remember, Heart's Crypta is basically 2,500, and then it can boost its attack to 5,000, and then that's just 7,500 in total. So my opponent just needed to deal another 500 damage. So yeah, maybe I should have set the Droplet here. I could have maybe survived the turn, but yeah, unfortunately I did not do that. I don't know what sort of I will actually know. The Malice player could set up a good board with Terahertz, D-Save Worm in the grave, White Binder in the grave, you know, the whole Malice sort of end board. So I don't think the cards we had in our hand would be enough, but I don't know, maybe I'm just jumping to conclusions here. So maybe setting the Droplet would have been a better choice, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, opponent attacks enough. Remember, now we're at 5,900. Heart's Crypta will attack us for 2-5, then banish itself, come back with 5,000 attack. So this was game. This was absolutely game. So I scooped here on its effect activation, and we go to game number 3. So yeah, I guess maybe I should have said Droplet there. Maybe things would have turned out differently, and I could have survived and be able to activate Grass during my turn. But anyways, game number 3, we end up going first. We draw Allure, Callby, Lancia, Opening, and Havness. Pretty good hand. Also, we do have Lancia, so we are able to stop our Malice player's combos. But Malice player opens Boldrake, Callby the Grave. Callby the Grave can target Lancia, so you know that is pretty good for them to draw into. Ash Blossom, Nib, and Terraform. Terraforming gives them full access to the Malice combo. So Nib, Ash Blossom, and Boldrake, 3 good interruptions for us. Or against us, I don't know, whatever the case is. So main phase we go Opening, and then we chain link 1 Allure, then we chain Opening. This could have been quite a hectic spot for us, for our opponent to ash us, but you know, we did at least have Havness as a dog to banish, so it was all good. Anyways, so we add Tragedy and we draw 2. We draw into Serenia and Duplication, banishing Tragedy. Then Tragedy will get the search. Obviously we don't trigger Havness because we have nothing to fuse into using the cards in our hand. Cool, so no trigger of Havness, but we search Aluba. We then go Aluba effect, search Branded Fusion, and obviously we're gonna go Branded Fusion. Opponent chains Ash, and we have the Callby to negate it, so Branded Fusion is going to resolve. Cool, we send Albaz and Rebellion to go into Albion the Branded. Albion will activate effect, and my opponent here will chain the Boldrake, banishing the Albaz, so we're not able to access Rebellion to go into Mirrorjade, but with that it's fine. We do banish Havness and Aluba to go into Masquerade because we are going up against a Malice player. Cool, so we have at least Masquerade to add some form of pressure on our opponent. We then tribute Albion, summon Rebellion effect will place Branded Regained, and we set Fusion Duplication. So even though we do not go into Mirrorjade, luckily we drew into Fusion Duplication, so we can access Mirrorjade during our opponent's turn. So interruptions we have here. Sorry, let's just first resolve Albion. So we go to end phase. Albion, here we just add Branded High Spirits. The reason why we add Branded High Spirits is I think we're going to use it in end phase. No, we don't. Okay, so we added High Spirits just to have extra cards to discard. Obviously I could have used High Spirits, reveal Sarenia, dump Titanic Clad, I guess, but I don't think we wanted to commit too much because I was betting on the fact that we had Lancia to help score us this victory. Cool, so we pass turn, opponent draws into White Rabbit. We don't drop Lancia yet, instead we just wait a bit. Opponent goes to main phase, activates White Rabbit. So here immediately I do chain Lancia because if he sets any of the traps, there's no point chaining Lancia, because then the trap can just chain to Lancia and he will be able to combo off a little bit further from there. So on its activation of White Rabbit, we do chain Lancia. Opponent goes chaining 3 Kolbai, but luckily for us, we have a Bestiary and our opponent controls a monster, so quick effect, we target our Lancia, banishing it, so Lancia will resolve successfully. Cool, so White Rabbit does set TV 11, but now my opponent cannot banish cards any longer. On rares, we go regain, shuffling back the Lancia to draw one, so we still have 3 Lancias in our deck. I believe also in this build, I actually wasn't playing Artifact Sanctum yet, so it's just 3 Lancias that we had, technically 4 Lancias in our deck. Cool, we draw into Branded Lost, so here my opponent goes GG's, because yeah, he has no plays, terraforming is not gonna help him combo further. He just has the Bowdrake, the White Rabbit. Sure, he does have TB11, but is honestly not going to do much for him in our turn, and we will have more advantage and just hopefully go for game. So yeah guys, that was the replay of Branded going up against Maliss. Game number 2, maybe if I set droplets, maybe things would have been a bit different. Maybe, you know, Grass would be able to activate so, but I believe my opponent would be able to put D-Save Worm into graveyard and set up quite a bit of interruption, so we would not be able to face all of that. But luckily in game number 3 we had Lancia, and actually even more luckier, we had Sarania to banish the Lancia when it was getting hit with Kolbai, so that secured us the victory. Cool, as you can see, Lancia is really good against the Maliss strategy. Hit them with Lancia, trust me, they are just going to either set some cards in the back row, set a monster face down, or summon a monster, do something at least, but they're not going to link off into much, and they're not going to do anything. It's literally just stops their entire combo. But yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this replay. Hopefully you found it good and entertaining for yourself, and if you did, please do like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.